Hi, my name's Dan Lewis. I'm 25 years old. I played in the 2011, 12 and 2013 festival, winning it in 2013 as well as joint player of the tournament. As an old Birkfieldian, I always remember my time in the squad playing in the festival amongst my friends. Since leaving the college, I went to play in France at Oyonnax for 2 years, which was a humbling and a tricky experience at times, but one that I really enjoyed and growed as a person as well as a player. I then came back to the UK and played at Bedford and Cambridge a little bit. Following that, I went and played 2 seasons out in New Zealand, in Otago for Valley and North Otago Rugby Union. And then I played the last 3 years of my professional career at Coventry in the Championship. Despite certain sort of accolades and honours in sort of the professional era of my career, one of the highlights will always be playing and winning the festival in 2013. And I know a lot of my friends and peers, whatever they've gone on to do later in life, they would probably say the same as well. Things will certainly change in terms of the lead up to the festival. One major thing would be the festival assembly and the Wednesday before the tournament. We never knew the squad going into that assembly, which I would say made it a lot more nerve-wracking. But it's probably nicer now. It's more of a presentation than a finding out ceremony. The same sort of hard work and graft has to go into the tournament, both on the sides of the admin creating the event and the squad getting their training in as well. That feeling running out to the crowd, screaming Joey's, screaming your name, is something you probably never really get used to. And I think it's different at this level than to any other level you might go and play in the game, because it's so personal when it's your school friends and your schooling family. And looking at it now, we're coming on 10 years since that festival, and if I were to reach out to any of those boys, that same sort of goosebumps, that same sort of excitement around the tournament and what it means to us would be exactly the same. You know, we're already talking about really what the festival is, which is a chance to get together and see each other, and the excitement that comes with that. And just thinking back to especially that 2013 year, it's a feeling that we can't really sort of beat and get over at any point, no matter how long it's been. The chance to run out, hearing Joe's being chanted, wearing the red and white, representing that badge, is a massive honour. It's an achievement like any other, just being involved because you are part of something greater and you're part of something that's family, that is St Joe's.
I'm Samson, 21 years old, and I played in the 2017 and 18 Rugby Festival. So yeah, even though 2017 was my first festival, first year at school here at St Joe's, it didn't take long for me to realise how much it really meant to the school and the boys I played with. Straight out of St Joseph's College, I left in 2018 to start professional rugby for Saints, Northampton. And then in 2019, I was, diagnosed with kidney failure. That obviously was a big shock to me. I was still obviously very young. But then made my comeback. I had the operation and stuff, and all I ever wanted to do was carry on and play rugby. I had no doubts in my mind, no matter what happened to me. But then obviously life happens, stuff happens. You have your downs, and fortunately I had a few rejections on the way in my time there at Saints, so it wasn't easy, but I made multiple comebacks due to having kidney rejections. But then eventually called my time on my career that I had. I was very blessed to have. No matter how long or how short it was, I was still very fortunate enough to run out there with Northampton and call my time not too long ago. Very fortunate to be sitting here right now because, like many people that retire in the professional world due to whatever is the reason, and whatever the reason is, you always have that doubt in your mind or that question in your mind, like what's going to be next. No matter how much you think about it during your career, during the highs or lows in your career, it's still going to come back to you when you've eventually called your time. The question is, what do I do next? And I couldn't be more thankful to St Joe's, this family I have here, this community. It's like I was never going to say no. I was in doubt what I was going to do, but thankfully I had my time here, and it's just so easy for me just to say yes and come back home essentially. So It's like, yeah, it's like I said earlier, I only joined literally 2017 and got chucked straight to festival, which obviously I was very honoured to be a part of, and it's like, that has never changed, that I don't think that will ever change. And even when I've come here, a new set of boys obviously, and it's still, you can still sense like the, obviously I don't know how to explain it, you can still sense the excitement, like within the boys, in the culture, and it's like, yes, it gave me goosebumps today, I'm not gonna lie, just being there in chapel today with the shirts being handed out, and it just made me very excited, and I don't think that will ever change. No matter if you're new, starting in sixth form, no matter what it is, it's just, you should feel honoured, no matter what.
Mate, it's something else, isn't it?
It is, honestly.
I think the scary thing for me was that we watched the boys win it in 2010, and they were now all back here as old boys chatting amongst themselves, and to us they were almost godlike in terms of what they achieved, and we knew in our heads how good they were, so it was a question of, can we actually be that good to sort of emulate them? So I think that was probably the scariest thing for me.
Yeah. I'm just gonna talk about the tunnel, because I'm used to run out of the tunnel. Like when I get to here and I literally just like jump around, and just skip and just kind of look to the sky.
Can you show me what you mean?
So this is what I do. Every time you see, you can watch it back. Obviously it's going loud, and this is honestly was the best feeling, one of the best feelings of my life. I just run out of this, and then when I come out, I just go like this, just jump around like this. And literally look around me, look up like that, and then just kind of clap like that. That was the best feeling. It was all in here. Inside, it was just like, ooh, and I just jump around like, here we go. So that was honestly to me unreal. Like, I will never forget that feeling. School from Gloucester, and like we obviously needed to win this one, I think, to make it through to second day essentially. And I just remember, this is where it's going to be a bit funny. The whole game, I wasn't really doing a lot. Sounds bad for me to say, but obviously I was doing my line out, my set piece, but to be honest, the whole game I was kind of on the wing / centre in open space, because that's where I thrive, okay? So if you're wondering why, that's why. But anyways, we come down, as you can see, just where we're walking now, we've made a break, and it's just forwards for the time being while I'm still out on the wing. And I remember a good friend of mine, Tom Williams, he made a slight break, just behind you here, and he had a little break, and I clocked. Obviously, I reacted very fast, and one guy was holding. I remember holding his arm. It was brilliant offload. I remember just being on the wing, screaming at him. I was like, "Please, give me the ball." And I screamed at him. He just let it go, one hand, and obviously, thank God, I caught the ball, and I literally just remember just sprinting down, easy finish. Had to dive, didn't I? And
How did you dive?
how did I dive?
Yeah.
Mate, I catch the ball, and I'm literally, as you do, I point. I don't know who I point at, but I just point. I remember that much. I point really quick, and I literally just, give you and I'm just throwing the ball up. Who's it? No, this man.
Take the sting out of the game from a St Joseph's point of view. Great run by Williams.
Tom Williams looking for the corner, needs some help.
Great play. That's a superb piece of play by Tom Williams. Samson Masai's got it in the corner.
And that's game, set and match.
So the final against RGS High Wycombe, we actually played them game 1, day 1. Narrow victory, I think it was 9-6 in the first game. And the final, I think we scored first over in that corner. Got a couple of penalties, and then they came back into the game, and then 1 minute to go-ish, they scored a try over there, and if they'd scored the conversion over in the corner, they actually would have gone into the lead, but they missed it, so we essentially had a kick-off with roughly a minute to protect the winning margin of a point, 11-10. We kick it deep, obviously, to try and make it as hard as possible, and they start playing, and they actually gain a little bit of ground on the left, and I think they came back here. And I don't know who it was, but a lot of people argue over who it was. Someone got a nice little turn over here. And so I'm in the defensive line here, trying to avoid making any tackles, as per the usual. and I realised we get the ball turnover, and I realised my mum and dad are over there in the crowd on the left, so I sprint back here screaming for the ball, realising what's about to happen. I get the ball here, and even though I can kick the ball quite far, I panicked that I wouldn't make it out, so I ran another 5 metres right here, kicked the ball as hard as I can, and then I lose my absolute head. Go crazy, into the middle, whole school runs onto the pitch, get mobs. Yeah.
Go back, keep it working.